Each week when Supernatural's done, make sure you know what went on. Listen to Heather and Eric, get the salt notes for sure.
Going to be overusing gifts now.
I know.
You should know me by now. I honestly
never have to search for gifts ever again.
I only use social media when I absolutely have to. You know how long it took me even to get to social media or I was forced to use it at work.
You know what? I never use my own social media anymore. I just lurk and observe others, but I only actually post from like work accounts. It's too much. We've got like 17 different work accounts to monitor at all times. So I'm like, I'm too tired to tweet from my own account.
Yeah, if that was my job, I'd had plenty of time, but it's not my job. And that's the last thing I want to do with the little bit of time that I have in my life.
No, you want to watch Supernatural.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes. And that is what we are here to talk about, because this is the Get the Salt podcast. I'm Heather.
I'm Eric.
And today we are talking about Season 11, Episode 21, All in the Family. This episode was written by Brad Buckner. I'm from Boston. The name Buckner doesn't go well with me. And Eugene Ross Lemming, directed by Thomas J. Wright. All Supernatural alums. Thomas has directed multiple episodes. They've written multiple episodes since 2006, I think, for Buckner, and just in the last couple years for Learning. But what did we think?
Well, before we get into that.
Oh, no.
Walking up here, I had to use the restroom.
I'm sorry.
And I ran into one of the most horrific scenes I've ever seen in a bathroom in my entire life.
Okay.
I walked into what looked like, actually probably like, you know how the opening scenes of Supernatural start with that big splash of blood, like on a wall or a window or whatever?
Okay.
Not blood, but shit. It was
Shut up.
Absolutely horrific
Here?
in our bathroom here at work.
What the fuck?
So it kind of looked like someone just bent over in front of the toilet.
I
don't know why you
say
would
this,
do it.
and I'm immediately picturing South Park having animated it.
Yeah, bent over and just shoot out all over the place.
Don't.
But
You're gonna ruin my tea.
I walk in.
I can't hear this.
I walk in. First you get hit by like the cloud, like a Mars cloud coming and hit you in the face. And then, of course, I had to investigate.
Why? Never investigate.
Because you can't.
Investigation leads to bad things.
Yeah, well,
never investigate. Just walk away and pretend you didn't see anything. That is my motto in life.
Well, I had to investigate, and the bathrooms here are pretty small, so it's kind of it was meant for me almost. I was.
You were meant for me.
So I immediately turn around, but as I turn around, somebody walks in.
Oh, now you're to blame.
So I'm the person.
Now you're to blame.
Yeah, now I'm the person who was responsible for that, and I could say, "Oh no, it wasn't me. That was before I got."
Oh no, that's why you're getting on the podcast to say it now, so you have audio evidence. Oh, it wasn't me. Just listen to the podcast. Like you're hoping. No, I'm gonna edit this part out, and then I'm going to spread a rumor that it was you.
Yeah. So now I'm the guy who did that. And poor Fernando has to come in and clean that.
Oh.
Well, I used to work at Subway when I was a kid, 16, and we used to have all sorts of disasters like that all the time. And I had the afternoon shift, so if I discovered something when I was doing my little, hourly cleaning session, I'd always put a do not out of order sign and just leave it for the night guy. Like that night guy's gonna be screwed.
We had something once, a couple years back. Somebody who turned out to be, we didn't know this at the time because they had to go back and look at security cameras to see what the hell happened. But an elderly gentleman who couldn't make it to the bathroom. So we ended up with that same scene, but in a hallway.
Whoa, man.
So we walked in to the building and it was just like there was a doorway to our back entrance to the building, and the bathrooms were kind of to the right and the offices were to the left. And just like right at that little intersection there all of a sudden there was just piles on the ground.
Oh, my Lord.
And like slight splatter. This is so disgusting.
Man.
This is so gross.
But-
Please stop. Why did you bring this up?
Because it was
To
horrific.
defend yourself from what you did. You know you did something
I
horrible.
was here in the studio the entire time.
I don't think so. You disappeared for like 5 minutes. I know it. I can't account for you all the time. I
right,
will
well.
not be your alibi.
We'll move on with that, but I had to tell somebody.
Oh,
I had to
thank
tell
you.
someone the truth of what really happened.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. We feel so blessed.
Next thing you know, there's going to be an email. We thank Eric for all his hard work and wish him well in his
We
future
wish you
endeavors.
well in his future endeavors. Oh, I love those emails.
Well,
Actually, those ones are not as bad. I love the ones where they're like, is no longer with the company.
yeah, they didn't even
And
get
then
the
it's just
future
no,
endeavors.
no explanation.
They don't wish you well at all.
They don't
like,
wish you well. They don't thank you for your years of service.
well,
Those are always my favorite, especially when I don't expect it, because then I'm like, oh shit, what happened?
yeah, listen,
like-
that guy did something messed up.
I'm like, somebody, ooh, I got to get the gossip on that. I'll talk to
Yeah.
Eric. He knows all the shit.
Literally. Well, I guess we'll move on from
Sorry.
that.
Get the salt. Talking about Supernatural, season 11, episode 21, All in the Family. Take 2. Let's actually start
Yeah,
this again.
We're continuing with awesome, incredible, stupendous. I mean, I can't say how great this episode was. It is coming together so well.
I was such a fan, just overall, of the story. I have one slight little thing, and that is the new prophet.
Mm-hmm.
Why was he there? What did he do?
Well,
Did he serve the story?
I think he did help. He
I mean,
located Amara.
Yeah, he helps them find Amara for like 5 seconds. I feel like they could have come up with a better way to do that. Or if they wanted to leave the character in, he could have done more instead of just...
Well, I felt
Like,
like
he's
why
there
would-
and
why
now
did
he's
he-
gone.
Yeah,
Why is he
did he
gone?
leave? If I witnessed all this shit that's going down, and I know that
I'm an
literally
atheist.
the end
I
of
am
the
now
world,
a prophet of God
Yeah.
and have met God. First of all, and he didn't question it. Like, I guess maybe if you're a prophet, you just believe it. But to go from, as an atheist myself, you could stand in front of me and tell me that you're God and I am your prophet, and I'd be like, fuck you.
like prove it.
I'd be like, okay, buddy, you
Well-
have fun in your little padded room. I'm going to leave now.
He proved it to Sam and Dean, snapping them back to
Yeah.
the bunker.
He could have just been a regular angel. Whatever. That not a big enough gripe because it was a fantastic episode, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I agree with you that I just became a prophet of God, and I just met God. I met Amara, the darkness,
And God didn't even show
angels.
off for him.
No, he didn't really do anything for him.
He was just Chuck eating leftover Chinese in
He-
Dean's bathrobe.
He transported him when they were, potentially going to get wiped out by Amara. So he did see, okay, this guy has some juice.
That was
But
after the fact. That's
wha-
at the end.
No, that's at the end though. But like,
Yeah.
really, that's what else? In regards to powers, did he show him? Really, nothing.
Nothing.
Right? Except for that little piece.
Yeah.
But then he leaves. Why would you leave? I would be as close as to Sam and Dean and God as possible. I would not be on my
to
own.
be fair, if you are like us, the viewers, and have followed along with Sam and Dean for 11 years, I'd probably want to be as far away from Sam and Dean as possible.
That's true. That's
I
true.
mean, shit seems to find them, but he doesn't know that. But also, like, why would Sam and Dean let him go?
Yeah,
He could be useful.
Well, yeah, he located Amara, which was, without him, they wouldn't have been able to find her. That's number one. Number two, now that Metatron is dead, who else is going to read? Well, I guess God could read his own tablet. But, hey, God, could you tell me what this
God's
says?
not that interested in helping.
No, he's throwing the towel. But now that you don't have Metatron, who else is there to read either the angel tablet or the demon tablet if that's around anywhere?
Exactly. I mean, Metatron didn't even need to read it. He just had them all memorized because he wrote them.
Right.
But,
Well,
yeah.
this episode
interesting episode.
had so many little things going on.
Some amazing performances from the actors, specifically Jensen Ackles
Yeah.
and the two perfect little tears.
Jensen cried. Oh my God. I
Like-
was actually gonna cry. I was watching it on my lunch break, and I was like, "Oh, I can't cry now."
What, you've never cried at work before?
No.
Honey, you just lock yourself in that bathroom and it's fine. Trust me, been there. But yeah, the two perfect little tears.
Yeah, he was emotional. He was
Like,
He-
I thought the character of Dean, I thought his reaction was spot on, in
Mhm.
character, beautifully acted.
took him a little while to figure out that it was God. That they first thought it was Chuck,
Mm-hmm.
And then it hit them all of a sudden. He's like, "Oh shit, this is God."
Mm-hmm.
And then it's so funny because you see their demeanor, like the way their shoulders kind of slump. They kind of like, "Oh crap, we are in front of God."
And you see the two incredibly different reactions. If you look at Sam's reaction, where he kind of gets excited and starts babbling, and he's nervous and kind of awed by God's presence. Dean is quietly sitting in the corner, slowly, I feel like, thinking about all the things that he's pissed at God about.
Oh yeah,
Like I could just seeing him sit there with like the tight, tense shoulders, felt like he was building up all the stuff that he eventually said to God.
Well, throughout all the seasons, it hasn't been the first time since Sam has prayed, or he's always kind of been reaching out.
Sam's always been a little more wanting to reach out.
Yeah, he's been more receptive. Or
Dean has only prayed when Sam's life is in danger, you know?
Yeah, and so I think Sam was a little bit more, like I say, like a little fanboyish when he was around God. And Dean was pissed off. He was definitely pissed off.
God's a dick.
Yeah, and God says, like, you might think I'm a little bit of a dick, but why do you care? It was kind of cool seeing. I mean, how would I react in front of God? I mean, I'd be a Sam. Totally. I would want to give him like 101 questions, like, what was this? How was it before this? Or did you do this? Why would you do that? Why didn't you do this? I'd be asking 1,001 questions.
See, I don't know how I would react. I don't think I would be that way. I think I would be like, I don't give a shit.
No, you would not.
I don't know. It depends on, like, of course I don't know, because I can't actually imagine.
I'm agnostic.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know what that means, it's basically that I need proof in order to believe. I can't just.
You believe there's something out there.
There's something.
But
I really
you're not buying hook, line, and sinker or whatever
Yeah.
each specific church is selling.
I really believe, I went to Christian school my entire life. I went to Christian school from age 5 to 16.
Can I tell you that I know so many, like, more people than I think I should, who went to Christian school for a long period of time. I'm talking 5 years or more. And not a single one of them is religious. They're like, yeah, I went to Christian school. I'm done with that. Like,
well, I think
it's so weird that everybody I know that went to a Christian school, religious type of school, is now either, I mean, not religious. Some of them are atheists, but a lot of them are just like, oh, I'm agnostic, or I'm Christian, but I'm not religious. Like, whatever. It's so weird to me.
Well, I have to, I can't hate on it because they didn't do anything to me. I wasn't one of those little horror stories that you hear on the news or whatever. I had a great time. The people were there.
So there was
great.
no sexual abuse, and there were no nuns beating the shit out of you with rollers.
No. There's no nuns with a Christian church,
Okay.
but I had a great. No, there's no nuns.
Nuns are not Christian?
It's Catholic. There's no nuns in Christianity, or in my church there was no nuns. I believe there's no nuns in any Christian church. There's no nuns. Yes.
I thought Christianity is the big one, and under Christianity you have Catholic, Episcopalian, Presbyterian.
No. I mean, Catholic is the big one.
Right.
I don't know the branches, but I know.
But are those all branches of Christianity?
No, I think they're.
Christianity is just Catholic?
Okay. The only I can say, because
I'm very confused. I'm sorry, this has turned into a completely different podcast.
Well, not the show actually Supernatural has turned into almost like a church show. Like I've been watching like if someone just walked into the show, like
perfectly in place.
Someone just walked into the show and started watching, they'd be like, okay, so we're talking about God, Lucifer, Amar, the darkness, the beginning, the end, or
the scribe of God, prophets.
Was Erica, like, would you just turn Christian again? No. Christian is the belief that through believing in Jesus Christ, you can be saved and go to heaven. So it's kind of like the lazy man's Catholic almost, where in Catholicism you have to do a lot of stuff in order to make it to heaven, where in Christianity all you do is believe in Jesus Christ as your Savior, as your Lord and Savior, and that's it.
Okay.
So it's that easy, and that's supposedly why the Jews killed Jesus.
Right.
Because there was a different way to get to heaven than what they were teaching. So Jesus was teaching that through love and believing in me, you can go to heaven. So they said, no. That's not how we know it or what we believe in. So we're going to kill you. Mm-hmm. And that's not cool because you're teaching something else than we're teaching. So
you know what? I'll understand all this when they do an episode of Supernatural about it.
Anyways.
I need a TV episode for me to understand anything.
So let me just kind of go back because Christian school is awesome.
Okay, cool.
And I learned a lot. Uniforms.
Nice.
Great teachers. The only bad thing that I can say about Christian school was that they only taught Christianity. They didn't teach anything about evolution. They didn't teach any other religions.
Of course not.
Right. Well, I always felt like if you believed so much in this that you would have no problem in sharing or teaching other beliefs or other things, which they did not do. So when I turned 16, the school I was going to was not an accredited high school, so I couldn't get into a regular college. So I went to public school, and it like opened my eyes. I was just like, I felt like betrayed and lied to. Like they were just hiding all these things that they didn't tell me about. I learned about evolution. I learned about, the universe. That they never taught these, these concepts where you can't teach about the universe, like the real scientific stuff, without kind of like going against what's being told in the Bible type stuff. So anyways, I felt lied to.
So you're one of you prefer teach the controversy? Where you teach both sides of it?
Yeah,
and then...
let me choose. Let me choose. And if you feel so strongly,
yeah,
you should be
my
able to.
My impression of Christian schools are not that.
No, I had a wonderful experience, and honestly, I've talked about this with my wife that if we are able to afford it, that I will let my daughter go to Christian school because I believe I'm the person I am today because I went to that school. So anyways,
so that's what I have to blame.
Exactly.
Sorry.
So yeah, me being agnostic now is just basically a result of learning and reading and understanding of what really is going on, and I kind of felt like, and then seeing, of course, all the horrible suffering going around in the world, and that boggles my mind that there's some big guy out there watching out for us. I don't know.
Well, maybe it's like Sam said, like all the prayers were just getting caught in his spam folder.
Yeah, I wish there was a God like Chuck around. I really do. I mean,
can I tell you,
that'd be
Chuck
awesome.
God is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He's just like eating Chinese, playing online. Like
I could hang with him for
he
sure.
He has a cat blog. Of course, I'm in love with this dude.
Yeah, for sure. If there was a God like Chuck around, I'd totally be into it.
I'd totally be into it because he still looked good, even like all scruffy in the bathrobe and shit. Like,
yeah, well, you have some sort of weird.
I've got a sick obsession with Rob Benedict right now. It's a weird thing. It just took over me. This is completely
Are
new
you
development.
a friend of his on Facebook? He had his first live. Facebook Live. You should have been on there asking some stuff. Will you marry me?
Well, he's already married, so.
Will you marry me when you divorce your wife?
Look, I'm not here to break up anything. I'm just here to admire from afar.
Well, throughout the whole episode, he kind of we find out that he is gonna basically just turn himself in.
Right. Metatron takes God and autobiography and shows it to Sam and Dean, saying, this isn't his story. This is his suicide note.
Right, which was really crazy. I did not see that one coming.
No, but I loved like the Curtis Armstrong and the way that it was delivered. In that, like, it had impact when he was like, "It's a suicide note," and I was like,
because Metatron was like down in the gutter when he was at whatever bar he's at. You could see it on his face that he was like
for a second. I thought it
depressed.
Was the same bar from the last
Me
episode.
too. Yeah, me too.
Then I was like, no, there wouldn't be like so many people there. Like I'm like, okay, no, it just looked very similar.
I was thinking like guy was inviting his friends over.
Like God's throwing a kegger.
My number one fan of the cat blog is here.
Like
decided to save her, or why did I say her? It could have been a guy too. I don't know. I just mentally picture a girl. Anyways,
you know what? I actually think if Chuck God was saving people, I don't think he would pull the fan of the cat blog. I think he'd pull in Grumpy Cat. Grumpy Cat himself.
Just for everything. For the rest of the universe, or for the rest of the time, I will look at his face and think of my one creation that has not disappointed me.
And Grumpy Cat, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, just disappointed at God face.
How old is Grumpy Cat? I'm going to be really sad when he passes.
Well, I hope they.
Wow, that just brought me down.
I hope they make like a. Grumpy Cat's a boy or a girl?
Pretty sure he's a boy.
Oh, he needs to.
I could be wrong.
He needs to start.
I don't know. I'm a fan on Facebook. I could look it up.
Humping and making some new Grumpy Cat babies.
Oh.
So the Metatron is super sad.
Yeah, Metatron's going to Sam and Dean
he's
for
drinking
help,
himself down into whatever he's trying to drink his sorrows. He reaches out, but the whole point is that from the beginning of that episode, you kind of see God in he's like kind of like giving up mode. Yeah, giving up mode.
He does not care.
He's eating the Chinese food. He's watching stupid shows on TV. he's out there watching kids play, almost like someone that knows that their end is about to come and just kind of like trying to soak in whatever they can. And
Yeah.
he could tell he doesn't give a fuck anymore. He's just done.
And it's not like where we saw him where he was in the episode before where he had given up and was just going to let Amara destroy everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's given up on himself and him being a part of anything. You could really feel it, and especially got it once you heard Metatron say it's a suicide note. He's going to sacrifice himself.
Well, he believes that Amara just wants him, which she does, but there is no...
Okay, question. And that's, Amara wants him. So when they're looking for Amara, God doesn't know where she is.
Mm-hmm.
She's shielding herself from me. Why is she shielding herself from him if all she wants is for him to show up?
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, that's so, like, why? She's torturing Lucifer
The only thing I could think of is, well...
to get his attention, and yet she is hiding herself from him. How could he show up?
See, these are those little plot holes that really aren't that explained, kind of, because...
That one bugged the shit out of me.
Because even if she was warded, like, maybe her body, or is she warding that water tower that they were in or whatever? Because if he wanted to find her, he knows that Lucifer is with her. Locate Lucifer.
She could be just warding the whole thing. That I find... I can go
Didn't
along
make any
with that.
sense.
And I can go along with that and just buy it. But her motivation for shielding herself from God makes zero sense to me.
Yes.
And what kind of shielding is she using that she can hide from God, and yet the brand new prophet, baby prophet, who's like 2 hours into his prophetdom, can sense her?
Yeah, weird.
And find her.
Weird. I don't. Maybe she was specifically targeting God, and maybe that's why the prophet could sense
find her. Yeah, but.
That's a plot. Why would she do that?
Why is she shielding herself from God if this entire 20 episodes we've been leading up to this with her wanting him?
The only thing I could think of that still doesn't answer your question would be that she wants to see God on her terms and not be surprised, and maybe she might be setting up her own trap, or she might want to summon him or see him in a specific location. That's the only thing I can think of. But other than that, why would I have no idea why she would hide herself.
And it's almost like when she didn't realize that God was on Earth. She felt something had changed, but she talked to Dean and seemed shocked when when she realized he was distracting her.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, you've met God, you've seen him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she was realizing that he had finally met God, and she seemed surprised by it.
Yeah.
That was the impression I got.
The other huge thing that happened in this episode was that Metatron sacrificed himself. This guy.
Oh, man.
He not only last episode saved humanity, he just sacrificed himself in order to get Lucifer
Lucifer Luciel Cassifer, Sam, and the baby prophet away from Amara.
Yeah, man. Last episode we asked if he had redeemed himself. There's no doubt now.
It's sad. I kind of wanted to hang around because I'm like, I feel like he could have been useful in a fight, but of course he's right. Without his grace, he's got nothing.
Well, he helped
now.
Lucifer escape with whatever spell he was chanting.
That's right. He did. He figured out whatever spell to break the bonds that Amara had put on Lucifer to keep him to that. What was that? Like a water spout? Like
yeah, like those things like you push down.
Well,
to
they
like
were
get
in a giant
water out
tower
of a well
type
or something.
Thing. But yeah, it looked like one of those things that you push in an old timey cowboy movie to get water or something.
Or like those things that you push down on a train.
Yeah, you have two people pushing on either side. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what it was like. I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, so he sacrificed himself, and that is the. I mean, if there's one ticket to go straight to heaven, that's it.
Well, apparently not, because we see Kevin Tran again in this episode, who apparently was not in heaven.
Yeah, the prophet of God was not in heaven.
Like, that's not an automatic ticket?
Well, he was killed by... What was the angel's name that he was killed by?
The one who was in Sam.
Yeah, that dude. He was killed by him, so, I mean, if he wasn't in heaven, where the hell was he?
Purgatory?
Was he in purgatory, maybe? I mean, I could have sworn...
Was he chilling around as a ghost?
What? He was a ghost. That's
yeah.
right. Good job on remembering that.
That's right. And he went to hang out with his mom.
He was hanging out with his mom's house, just chilling and relaxing with his mom, but he got summoned, which was awesome. That was like one of those moments where you're like, oh, I remember him. He's so nice.
I miss Kevin.
So, he was ghosting it for a while to help his mom, I guess, kind of come off the edge of the ledge a little bit. and then he kind
I'd
of.
forgotten
But
all
that was the moment that they realized that Chuck was God when he waved them into heaven, and then they turned to like, oh,
Well,
that's,
yeah, I think
that's
they
God.
knew
They had an idea,
beforehand,
but it
that,
was
that
not 100%.
really, yeah. So we got to see him, and he got to go to heaven, and poor Mrs. Tran's going to be all alone, although maybe now people will think she's less crazy instead of talking to a ghost son.
Yeah,
But
you kind of have to rip the Band-Aid off at
of
some
course,
point.
sends him to heaven. Heaven's not always that safe, guys.
I mean, I maybe it's been reinforced since God's arrival, but
Well, he's not hanging out with the angels. He's in his own little room off that
he
hallway,
really hasn't.
I guess.
There hasn't been a big newsletter that's been sent out to all the angels or on an angel radio saying, "Oh, God's back. Hey,
Yeah, no,
get your shit
they're
together."
keeping it quiet. I guess Lucifer now knows. Did they even tell Lucifer?
Yes, Lucifer.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
They
sure
said
that
they talked
Lucifer
about
has
Daddy.
the ability to. Oh, they talked about Daddy. And
And he
I'm
saw
sure,
him at the end. Duh, I forgot.
And he could. I'm sure he could feel him too. But that's going to be the big question. I guess maybe next episode is that interaction between Lucifer and God, because when they were in Amara's place stuck, they're like, Sam says, you're going to leave all that shit on the table before we take you over there, because what's done is done. And
We don't need your daddy issues right now while we're trying to deal with your aunt.
he says, like, of course I'm going to say yes. Look at the condition I'm in now.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm staying here. So he gets there. God very quickly heals him up with one little finger, lift of a finger.
Yeah, and kind of, I felt like it was a judgy finger, like I'm still disappointed in you. Like,
Here's my little
it was
finger.
just how he slowly, Rob did such a great job, like how slowly the finger went down and came back up to heal him. Like, he could have just snapped his fingers and it would have been fine, but like it was so much more dramatic and saucy and I don't know, like judgy. I felt judgy. I'm like, oh, fine, I'll heal you.
I actually
again.
thought he was exercising. I thought he was going to exercise Lucifer from his body.
I thought that was because you remember last week I had said the next episode, Mark Pellegrino's on the cast list, but that's actually next week's episode because this one was All in the Family, and I guess I had skipped over it and was reading the description for We Happy Few.
So you're saying that's going to happen next episode? That you think that's going to?
I think that's going to happen next episode because Mark Pellegrino is listed on cast on IMDb for the next episode.
So now,
I mean, it has to happen soon because we've got 2 episodes left.
Yep.
And that's it for this season.
What I see happening now is kind of what I've wanted to see for a very long time, and I think we talked about this a couple episodes back, was there is a team forming now.
Thank you.
God is the leader, obviously.
God is not the leader because God doesn't want it. God is going to sacrifice himself, give himself to Amara in exchange for leaving his creation alone.
Well, God is making
so that he can be locked in a cage. I think he gets locked in the cage.
God?
Yeah.
No way. There's no way that's going to happen.
God gets locked in a cage. That's the only way to make next season exciting is getting God out.
If I could reach over to give you a high five right now, I would. That was pretty good. I like that.
God is insisting on God's not leading this team because that's why Sam had to grab, Metatron had to go to Sam and Dean to say God's not in this.
Mm-hmm.
Sam had to grab Baby Prophet. I don't remember the
Baby
character's
Prophet.
name, so I just call him, he's a new prophet, Baby Prophet.
Donatello. Or Leonardo.
Donatello, yes. That's right, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
That was great.
That was such a great line.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? He's like, no, the Renaissance sculpture.
And I was like, I would have gone Ninja Turtle first, too. At first, I thought he said Donatella, and I was like, Versace?
Could you imagine if it was like the opposite way? You were like you were named like Donatello, and someone says, after the famous Renaissance sculptor? No, the Ninja Turtle. Just like this.
I'm a mutant. It's a thing.
My mom was a big fan. We grew up in the 90s.
Hey, I'm just saying. I was a big fan. April O'Neil cosplay, first cosplay ever.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can totally see that
Well,
for sure.
I was the only girl you had to.
I'd probably make a good Splinter.
Oh.
I got the hair for it.
You've got the little rat face.
No, definitely not a rat face, but definitely the hair for sure.
Oh.
So
anyway, back to it. God's not leading the team. Sam had to pull them to go get to Amara. Metatron had to sacrifice himself. Dean is playing the distraction game. God's not doing anything.
Metatron was. I'm thinking of this team. If we're building a team, Metatron was a huge loss.
Yeah.
Huge loss. You got someone with crazy amount of experience, knowledge, and
for somebody
and
who
know-how.
wasn't there when Amara was put into the cage, right? He wasn't around. He said he had been with God since creation, but I don't think he had met Amara before.
No, he was not since. Well, I mean, God, I mean, how do you judge time when you're during that time? But
I don't know.
no, he was not there from the very beginning. But God,
Early on, obviously.
according to the story, he came in through a room, looked at Metatron, said, "Okay, you're gonna be my guy."
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So it wasn't like it was very, very beginning, but I'm pretty sure it was very close. Cause,
So we had gotten rid of Amara.
he's the one writing
beforehand.
down in the beginning there was
Yeah.
darkness, or no, it was I can't remember how it goes. Anyways,
Christian school didn't do well for you.
no, I it's coming back to me. In the beginning there was darkness. I don't know. We'll have to look that up later. So, anyways,
Never come to us for religious information.
no. So Metatron was a big loss.
Yeah.
That was for me a huge. Now that I'm thinking about it, huge loss.
But are they not replacing the loss of Metatron with the getting Lucifer back?
Yeah, but he's a wild card.
Yeah.
There's no knowing what he's going to do.
Up until 2 seconds ago, Metatron was a wild card.
But this is the thing that messes me up, because that's why it doesn't make sense. Like we had again spoken about this before, was if you have God as a character, he already knows what's going to happen. He knows all. He already knows what's going to happen before it's going to happen. So it's unfair. It's not fair. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. If he already knows what's going to happen. If either, Lucifer's going to betray them or stab him in the back or go along with it or whatever, it's kind of like he's just not playing fair. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't like it.
I don't know if there's any way around that, though.
And then the funny thing is, like, Sam and Dean are, like, talking about, that Amara's in his head or whatever, and God walks in the room. He's like, shh, 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 we don't want God hearing us. Like,
yeah,
what? Are you kidding me? Like,
no, shh, shh, dude, quiet. He's right
quiet.
there.
He's right there. He's
right. Okay. So, as I was saying, those spreadsheets look very, like...
There's no hiding from God. Are you shushing him?
I don't know.
So
I'm like, he just transported you there, of course, and put the Impala in a random round room, or that little tiny room. That was not a garage.
No, that looked like a pantry area.
It was off the main
cellar
room, but a room they don't normally go to. Obviously,
we're adding rooms to the bunker that we didn't know about.
Well, yeah, that's what happens.
So yeah, so the team is good. If they separate Lucifer and Castiel, we got two more guys there. What they could even do? I mean, Sam and Dean have 0 power-ups, and in the episode, Dean's like, dude, we can't. If you're banking on us to fight Amara when you're gone, if she decides to not agree to the deal, which I feel there's no way that she's going to agree to or she'll agree to it and then just do whatever she wants afterwards. How can you trust her? Like, guys can say, okay, we're going to shake on it. I'm going to go away into this cage and you do whatever you want to do to me. But promise me, pinky promise, here you go. Pinky promise me that you're not going to destroy anything I've created. Yeah, right. That's not going to happen.
Well, we know she's not going to destroy Dean. She's going to make him a part of her.
That's why I tell all the ladies,
Ew.
I'm going to make you a part of me. And things just got real awkward in here.
Can we go back to the disgusting stories from the beginning?
She is going to absorb him. And like I said, Dean is her one weakness. Remember that.
Yeah.
I'm calling it.
Well, how else was he able to keep her distracted for so long? Like, that was...
It's those tears. He's a very good actor.
Well, I'm sure they did that little thing where they blow the powder into your eye to make you get that one single perfect
You
tear.
think so? Or it was like that little liquid drop.
No, they blow that powder. What is it that makes your eyes burn so that you well up?
They're not going to do that to him. Is that a real thing?
That's a real thing. That's how actors cry.
Really?
Yeah.
No. I could cry on the spot if I wanted to.
Just
kidding. It's not gonna happen.
I was about to be like, prove it, and then I'm like, I don't have time for that shit. No.
So, yeah, she basically wants to absorb him, and once.
But does she mean like literally absorb?
Yeah,
was she hitting on him? Does she want to combine their souls? I don't
think she has a soul because God doesn't have a soul, so she's not gonna have a soul. But I think they're just gonna. Dean is a little piece of her that she's missing.
I could see that.
And she needs to bring that back to be, I guess, maybe full power. That's my fan theory. So they got this big old group team thing happening, but what can they possibly do to fight Amara after the fact? So Dean says, there's no way that we are going to fight Amara. I mean, she is not
God
at my
needs to do this.
God needs to do it. She is not I'm not at her pay grade. Like, there's no way I can compete with that. And unless
I kind of wanted Chuck to be like, in typical Chuck God fashion, be like, this is way above my pay grade. Congratulations, you just got promoted.
Yeah.
Like,
or give him a little power up, give him a little something, give him a little juice.
Thank you. Like,
or temporary. It doesn't have to be something that's forever, but give him a little.
He doesn't seem to want to give anybody any type of powers.
No Archangel little boost. Give me a little Archangel boost for till Amara's gone or whatever to help you.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be fucking awesome. That would be. I would cream in my pants if that happened. If God gave Sam and Dean Archangel powers just for this fight to help him, because I believe it was not only Lucifer, but maybe it was also Michael, the angel Michael, that also helped wrangle up Amara, or was it just only Lucifer? Do you know?
I think it was all the archangels.
Yeah, so maybe it was all. So if they had Sam and Dean as archangels and have them either hold her down, or
can you turn somebody into an archangel?
God could do whatever the fuck He wants to do.
Or does He have to create them from scratch?
No. God could give upgrades. He is totally into taking that stock model and hooking it up. He wants that aftermarket
Put some nice
shit.
rims on that shit.
He wants that aftermarket shit on these people.
Yeah,
he needs to do that. We need a power up, but he is so just like unwilling.
I don't know
if
I'm on board with that.
No,
I don't
fucking
want
power ups and weapons. We need mystical, magical weapons from the heavens to come down, like Thor type shit to battle. Armor, get ready for the battle against Amara.
Okay, well, keep in mind the show's on the CW. We don't have the Marvel budget going on.
Fucking CG everything. Or just go old school Hercules.
No, CW is spending all their money on the Flash and Arrow. They're getting all their damn
this episode
CGI budgets.
Was beyond fantastic. I cannot wait to see what happens next episode. Amara's going to be fucking pissed. Pissed beyond belief, because not only did she lose Lucifer once, she caught up to him and God zapped him into the bunker, so she didn't kill him there.
Yeah.
So she's going to be extra pissed now.
Yeah. And next week we get Rowena.
Oh, she's back?
Rowena's back, and
Crowley has to come along.
Crowley's back, because there's talk of teaming up.
Of
Angels
course.
and demons.
You have to
take down Amara.
And
we all know how powerful Rowena is.
She has the Book of the Damned.
She's
or
the damned
good
weapon, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, she has she was able to find her before, to find Rowena, Amara before. She has, gifts that no one else in the world is going to have. Mm-hmm. And she has the ability to do the spells that are in the book.
But all of our powerful team members here are sketchy. Like, you you kind of trust them because they want to live themselves. Their selfishness is the thing you can trust most, but
like right now, everybody's all hands in because your life is at stake. If she wins, we're all fucked.
Yeah, could be a turn at any point from any of these characters.
Of course. No. There's going to be Rowena first. Remember, she saw that she was going to be on the losing team and decided to go reach out to Amara and join her.
Yeah.
As soon as she realized that this bitch is a little crazy.
Oh, wait, hold up.
She switched teams.
Rowena's coming back. Lucifer doesn't know she's still alive.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a nice little surprise for her.
Oh.
For him.
Is she going to be able to work with the guy who killed her?
Exactly, right? No hard feelings, right, Rowena?
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's going to be a huge team player too, but everybody has to come together to fight the big bad, and then they'll all go and spread their own, go their own ways after the fight once everything is done. But that's why I felt like that Crowley is going to end up being a good guy.
Of course, Crowley's going to be a good guy. Crowley's always on Team Winchester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's had so many opportunities to kill him and never does.
I know.
He always says, I could probably use them. He says that he could use them later on, and he's just kind of like, I love him too much.
He's in love with Dean.
Yeah,
we know it. Everybody's in love with
Even
Dean.
the darkness is in love with Dean.
God, the darkness, Cass, Crowley. Good God, man. Sam in twisted ways. I mean, I don't read a lot of Wincest, but I can see that.
Yeah. So I can't wait till next episode. What do you think is going to happen next episode?
Well, I mean, obviously they're teaming up. I'm like 99% sure that we get our real Cass back along with Lucifer. I think we get split. Does Cass even know does Cass know Cass doesn't know God's back because he's still hiding in Lucifer's mind, right? I don't think he's aware of what's happening.
Right.
So that should be an interesting encounter to see between them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But we've got to build it up. We've got next week's and then the finale.
well, the last plan that they had was to get Lucifer out of Amar's hold and use, or at least talk to him about fighting with them. So that's already been done. So I think next episode is when everybody comes together and they talk about the plan. And I definitely don't think God's going to sacrifice himself. I think they're going to talk him out of it.
I don't know if they're going to talk him out of it or if they're going to stop him, because I think he's going to try and do that, and they're going to come in and foil that plan.
Right.
Because, I mean, they're gearing up for battle in the next episode is what we're seeing, is preparing for the battle that's going to happen in the finale.
And you know what I see happening as, like, almost like, you remember Back to the Future when they would do something in the past to affect the future, and the picture would change. You see the picture of, like, Doc or Marty McFly,
yeah.
like, they change the picture. I see, like, the suicide note or the book changing, like, titles or changing, like, a certain page to, like, since they altered or like they try to save God instead of committing suicide or whatever or sacrificing himself, they save him, or they sacrifice themselves for him or something like that nature. And like the book changes and the words change and the whole story.
I don't see anyone other than Cass having the kind of loyalty to God to sacrifice themselves for him, for humanity. Yes, to save the universe. I could see Sam and Dean doing that.
What about
but
Lucifer?
To save God, I don't see anybody doing that.
Because Lucifer loved God so much.
I don't think Lucifer's still...
in order to redeem himself and like make up for his douchery.
But Lucifer doesn't regret his douchery.
The
villain doesn't think they're the villain.
Yeah, but look at Metatron. Look at that 180 he did.
Yeah.
You know, that was from day one. He was the biggest douche ever.
Yeah.
He made himself God. How big of a tool you gotta be? But
God had been gone for a while. The position was kind of vacant.
Yeah, you don't fill God's shoes. There's nothing like that happening. But there's so many different things you could see that happen, and it always turns out like none of my ideas are ever true. So don't listen to me.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we've got next week's episode, which is called "We Happy Few." So we know that they're gearing up for battle. The St. Crispin's Day speech is, the king rallying the troops as they march forth. So
I did not know that.
It's Shakespeare. We went over this already.
But the most important thing you're missing is you have to like us on Facebook.
I was like, did you see me? Like, I actually paid attention to you, and I was like, what? What am I missing? Did I miss something? Yes. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. We're on Instagram, although I never post any pictures there.
The other thing that I'm going to start doing
is Get the Salt Pod across all social media platforms. Get the Salt Pod.
And uploading these videos to YouTube or these
Yeah, we're going to start
podcasts to
posting.
YouTube.
Not only can you subscribe to us on iTunes or get us on our website, you can also see us on YouTube.
And
not see us. It's just audio. I don't put any cameras in here. You don't want to see that shit.
And if you want us to talk about a certain something, or you have an idea for a show or a topic, you can email us at getthesaltpod@gmail.com.
Yep. Or send us a message on Facebook, tweet us, whatevs.
You can tell us how horrible we are or how much you love us. Do what you will.
My sister can say hi, because that's the only person listening.
As the Lord saith.